For today's movie recap, we will talk about a loveless marriage between two people from a movie named Deep Water. As the story unfolds, we see the twisted nature of humans as they encounter more difficulty in life. In the opening scene, we are introduced to Vic as he gets back home after cycling. He sees his wife, Melinda, waiting for him on the stairs. She looks at him curiously as if wanting to say something, but she keeps quiet and goes back upstairs. The following morning, we see them preparing for breakfast with their kid named Trixie. She is joyfully singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, but this annoys Melinda, and yells at the AI to stop. Their babysitter also arrives to take care of her while Melinda and Vic attend a party at their friend's house. They arrive at the party and talk with friends as they drink wine. Vic silently watches Melinda, who separates from him, and hugs a friend named Joel. It can be seen how close they are, but Vic just keeps his cool, hiding his jealousy. Melinda is already drunk, but she still manages to play the piano for everyone. After that, Joel approaches Vic and says his thanks for allowing him to date Melinda. Vic then tells him about Melinda's previous boyfriend Martin, who disappeared without a trace. He directly tells Joel that he's the one who made Martin disappear. Hearing this, Joel became distressed and immediately left the party. Melinda asks Vic what he said that made Joel leave earlier. But Vic just denies doing anything to Joel. When they get back home, Vic gives the babysitter money before she leaves, but before she does, Melinda gets in the kitchen half-naked and blends coffee. He tells her that she should not do that in front of visitors, but she gets angry and gets back to her room. She asks him how she fell in love with her, to which Vic replies, because she is smart. But she replies that Joel may be dumb, but she made her true to herself. She then tells him to leave the room. Instead of sleeping, Vic goes to their basement, and there, we can see that Vic has a passion for snails. He built many beautiful tanks that have a lot of it. And Vic seemed to really enjoy taking care of it. The following morning, Vic shows his love to the family by taking care of breakfast and taking their daughter to school. As he is about to leave, a friend interrupts him and jokingly asks about the murder he committed. It seems that the previous confrontation with Joel the other day was the talk of town. Even at lunch with friends, they also got wind of what he told Joel. But they also disapprove of Melinda openly flaunting her relationship with other people. At home, Melinda is mad at Vic and demands that she apologize to Joel before he leaves the country. Having been invited for dinner, Joel arrives at their house and talks about his new job in Mexico. Melinda playfully says that she would love to visit Mexico and maybe even visit Joel. Their talks continue and Melinda rambles that she wishes Vic is a normal person. But Vic retorts that if he were normal then Joel wouldn't even be sitting at their dinner table. As it is getting late, Melinda urges Trixie to sleep and asks Vic to read her a bedtime story. After taking care of their daughter, Vic goes downstairs to see Melinda and Joel happily dancing. He interrupts them by noisily washing the dishes. Melinda notices and tells him to sleep, but before that, she wants Vic to give Joel his drinks while she goes out to buy more alcohol. Joel and Vic are now alone and they talk about Martin. Joel wanted Vic to apologize for tricking him, but Vic just said that he truly did kill Martin with a hammer. Joel gets scared and leaves. The following day, they attend a party and talk to a writer named Don Wilson. He is a movie writer for Hollywood, mainly on conspiracy stories. He gets interested in Vic's life and asks about the issue of killing Martin. But everyone shrugs it off as a joke. A short while later, Vic invites Kelly Wilson to dance. Melinda and everyone were shocked as they didn't know that Vic could actually dance. Melinda expresses her jealousy by having car fun when they drive home. The following day, Vic receives a call from a person who informs him that his wife sends money to a person named Charles for piano lessons. He then rides his bike and investigates the man. After calling everyone, he finally stalks him to a live show. To his surprise, his wife is also at that place. He left abruptly, deep in thought. After getting home, he hears the news that Martin's body was finally found by the police. He informs the drunk Melinda, who was visibly shaken by the news. In the next scene, Vic recognizes Charles on the street carrying flowers. He later sees the same flowers in their house. He gets angry and throws it in the garbage bin. But this is not the last he sees Charles as he comes to a party held at their home. Jealousy is written all over his face when Melinda introduces them to each other. At night, he loses track of Melinda and tries to find her. He asks his friends and they say that she was last seen upstairs. He finally sees her leaving her room, but then, Charlie also comes out after her. As Melinda and Charlie swim in the pool, Vic intently gazes at them flirting in front of him. Vic's face is stone cold when it suddenly rained. Everyone gets inside except Charles and Vic. But moments later, Vic also enters the house. As the people party, Melinda remembers Charlie and starts to look for him. She loudly screams when she sees the lifeless body of Charles floating in the pool. Melinda is hysterical as they try to resuscitate Charles. But it is too late. The police soon came. Melinda outright said that Vic killed Charles. They interrogate everyone including Vic, asking them who was with Charles before he drowned. Vic was the last person, but because it was such a short time, they could not tell it was him. After all, he has an alibi when he quickly gets back inside to join everyone, even burning his fingers for taking a cookie. Due to lack of evidence, he is acquitted of this crime, and the case is laid to rest. In the following scene, Vic rides his bike across the town. He reminiscent about the day at the pool. We can see that he is actually the one who killed Charlie. As he contemplates the crime he had just committed, he notices a car that follows him. He takes notice of this and watches as it zooms over him. At Trixie's school, Don's wife, Kelly visits him and tells him about Melinda and Don's conspiring together against him. He then suggests that Kelly and Don join them for lunch to clear up the misunderstanding. Vic asks Don to completely stop accusing him of multiple murders. And he would even be willing to do a lie detector test to prove his innocence. The next morning, while he goes back home, he sees the same car from before stalking him. He goes inside and to his surprise, he sees Melinda having lunch with another guy. He knows that he is a private investigator from the equipment shown in the car. But he wants to confirm and he joins them in their lunch. He asks what he do for work, however, upon asking for a business card, the guy could not give any. This confirms his suspicions. And so, he storms Don's house and confronts him about why he even sends a private investigator for him. He tries to defend himself and says that Melinda is the one sending the money. However, Vic angrily just storms outside. Don and his family's lunch is ruined as Don and his wife Kelly argue about this issue. Melinda is again seen with a different person. They hug and kiss, suggesting another betrayal by Melinda. Meanwhile, Vic is at home busy taking care of their daughter. Trixie is convinced that Vic did kill Charles. She keeps asking her father how he did it. But Vic said that they should just keep it between themselves or he will be in jail forever. He also overhears Melinda talking to a person on the phone. Melinda seems to excitedly want that person to meet Trixie. Before ending the call, she even said "I love you" to the person. Turns out, it was one of her old ex named Tony. Tony even visits them during one of their lunch. Melinda happily clings to him and does everything to flirt with him. She also blurts out that she is the first person he experienced a bed scene. Tony almost chokes on his drink. But Melinda assures him that Vic does not care. However, that is not the case as Vic can no longer be seen smiling. They recount their old days when they were together. It seems that Melinda is a difficult person to handle even during their college days. So Tony dumped her. He and Melinda seem to enjoy their food as they recount the days when they were together. He tries to control his temper as the two dance and go into one of the rooms. Melinda sees Vic peeking at them. But she just ignores her husband. The following morning, Vic approaches Tony walking down the street. He convinces Tony that Melinda has some building sites to show to Tony. He hops into the car and they go on their way. They get far away into the woods, and Vic drives so fast that it scares Tony. He tries to call his family, gradually sensing danger. However, there is no signal in that faraway place. When they finally arrive, Tony asks where is Melinda, but Vic suddenly throws a stone on his head, making him bleed. Vic throws more stones repeatedly at him, which makes him stumbles and is unalived after hitting his head. Vic drags his body towards the creek and ties his body with stones to make him submerge under the water. He also takes his wallet. For some reason, many days after Tony's disappearance, the relationship and mood in the house improved. Trixie and Melinda are seen bonding together. Melinda also speaks more sweetly with Vic. They even go on a picnic together with Trixie. It is the same place where Vic killed Tony. Just then Vic sees parts of Tony appear from the river. He immediately urged everyone to come back, but Melinda forgot his scarf. And so, he goes back there again on his bike to remove the evidence. Meanwhile, Melinda sees the wallet of Tony under the basement. She realizes that Tony truly did kill all her previous lovers. At the creek, Tony is busy removing the evidence, but Don comes from behind and asks what he's doing. Vic tries to explain that he is not doing anything. But just then, he sees a hand come into view. He immediately runs away. Vic chases after him on his bike, but the car is obviously much faster. Don excitedly yells that this is one big scoop worthy of another book for him. However, Vic knows the road and he takes a detour and pops in front of Don. This gets Don in an accident and kills him. At home, Melinda waits for Vic just like in the opening scene. She knows everything. But she turns and burns the evidence to start everything anew.